You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got them both rolling. So what I'm going to do in light of that, I'm just going to do a little clap right now. I don't have my clapboard with me, but I'm going to do a little clap.
All right, let me make sure that I can
Fit.
set up in a way that doesn't destroy anything. Okay, so which one you want me looking at?
Let's see. I think this one right here. But if you look around, it's going to be irrelevant. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we're going to roll it up.
So you want me to?
I don't know what I'm going to say.
How much of this song you want me to sing? I mean, you're gonna.
My suggestion is that would be, play it, loop it, however many times you need to loop it to get us up to like 41 minutes. You're up for that, right?
Let's see.
We're gonna need some more tape in that 8-track tape machine rolling out. Bob Seger's 8-track tape machine rolling
for sure.
And everybody will be screaming "Turn the page" at that point. That's the song you did that on.
Gotcha.
No, I'd say what song are you gonna play?
Well, I thought about the second one. Not that I want to do two. I'm just trying to decide one or the other.
Do both if you want.
Well, there's this one that we're going to do Sunday that I had mentioned to Kathy.
Okay.
And it's one that we used to do like with Cliff Bedell in his class. But all of a sudden, I can't think of the name of it. It's who's calling me over there?
Oh. Some girl named Tama Smith. Shall I answer?
Who?
It's your wife.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yep, she's good to go. So we're gonna do that like a
Here, sit here, and then we can. Hey, sit here even while you're messing with it, if you would. Sit here even while you're messing with it, if you would, because we may capture a little bit of it. Let me just.
So one of the ones that we talked about doing Sunday is one that Cliff Bedell used to do all the time. So it's like a river, yeah. If I can figure out how to play it. River glorious is God's perfect o'er all victorious in His right. Perfect is flowing deeper always. If I can remember how to play it. I mean, I may muddle through it, so
Yeah.
I'll probably do that one.
Okay. That'll be great.
All right.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And anything you do is awesome. So it's A++, A+ beyond. So.
All right, and here, let me turn on my ears so I can make sure that
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, that should do it.
Okay. All right, I've already clapped, but I'm going to clap again just to synchronize because we'll drop one of the tracks. I didn't bring my clapboard. Should have. Okay, so I have failed miserably in this regard. We are going to have a get-together for folks from Columbia, both August 4th and August 5th. I'll put into I'll word and place into Facebook the clear details of times on both days, but in short, August 4th will take place at Hope Church, and August 5th will take place in Shortess Chapel at the college. So again, August 4th will be a Friday, and it will take place at Hope Church. They're hosting us graciously. August 5th will take place in Shortess Chapel. I should have conveyed some of this information something like 38 eons ago. That's the quick, down and dirty. I'll come back and I'll populate some of the information. There were a number of people who contributed in all these different ways last summer in order to try to put together a get-together for everyone, and we did so. So many people made so many integral and unbelievable contributions, and I had the responsibility of kind of raising the visibility for this year, and I've just failed to do it. I'll explain maybe in another video some of the rationale, i.e. I'll be grabbing for excuses, but nonetheless, that's the scoop. So August 4th, Friday, will be Hope Church. August 5th, Saturday, will be Shortess Chapel, and there will be a meal on, there will be tons of visit time on both of those. There will be some programmatic things. So in those programmatic things, just be clear, that's going to be programmatic stuff. There'll be visit galore on the front side, visit galore on the back side, a little bit of visit in between, and that'll be Friday. And then on Saturday, there'll be visit on the front, visit on the back, and more visit on the in-between on Saturday. But there will be some programmatic stuff, and during that programmatic stuff, programming will be taking place. So on Friday, also, there will be zero cost to anybody. So last year, an alum took care of the cost for Friday night for the food. A board member not only took care of the cost, but did all the centerpieces for all the tables. And that same board member and her husband are going to do that again this Friday. So just as last year, someone took care of the food for Friday last year, and an alum will do so again. On that same night, a board member will take care of the gorgeous centerpieces that were created last year. And on Saturday, another alum took care of the food for when we met on that Saturday. And this year, actually, the university will take care of the food on the Saturday. With that said, among the things, and so some things will be going on Friday night. We'll drop some clarity into the lineup, some bullet points so you'll know. A few things happening on Saturday. And on Friday, one of the things that will be taking place is a dear friend, both of me, a dear friend of me through all these decades, and a dear friend of so many of you. So he's going to come and play us a song. But so what you get? This is Thad Smith, whom you'll remember. What you going to play, Thad?
I don't know. I don't play the guitar. I do not play the guitar anymore. I just thought it would be a great sort of prop. But
That's a big lie.
Well, there was one song that I know Cliff Bedell, he always would have us sing before class. So he may be the first time I heard this particular song, or it might have been someone else, but it's one of those songs that's in the Baptist hymnal, but we never sang it until we got to the Bible college. It's like this: like a river glorious is God's perfect peace, over all victorious in His Christ. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to start all over.
No, we're
totally botched.
No, go at it. We'll be great. Hey,
No, it won't either. Don't you dare. For some reason, I'm having a mental block on this.
Beautiful.
that. We're not gonna.
No, we're letting that hit the editing room floor.
Yeah, that one easy. So I mean, I can. Where are you going to start this? You want to start the whole thing again?
No. Me genoita.
All right.
That's God forbid.
You want to start that from where I enter, or how do you want to do this?
No, I just roll. You can play.
Okay.
So the bottom line is, I think you're going to play maybe like 4 to 6 songs on that night, and this is one of the candidates, right?
What a beautiful name, Son of God, Son of Man, and that will swing. Joy and peace, strength and hope, grace that blows all fear away. What a beautiful name, Jesus. What a beautiful name, Son of God, Son of Man, Lamb that will swing. You heard this before? Joy and peace, grace and hope, grace and hope, something like that. I just watched that one too.
Beautiful. How about all right? So we'll just chat a bit.
Right.
And so last year, obviously you were there. So a couple of thoughts and a couple of questions. Last year, obviously you were there, and last year on Friday, Gary Davis played and sang, and we got to sing some songs with him, and also Amy Phillips Hicks, who's taught Bible in the public school all these years in North Carolina. She sang some songs, and we got to sing with her as well. So I think some of the songs you're going to pick, we're going to be able to sing with you, and the lyrics will be on the screen. Now, with that said, Gary, I think I may have told you, Gary did the job that you did on behalf of the college after you graduated. He did that same exact job similarly. So he would go around to different schools, different high schools primarily, but not exclusively, churches and so on. And he was such a beaming ambassador for the school, like unbelievable, a student magnet. And then you similarly, you did that role, and you were a student magnet in terms of the recruitment process. What's a song you would have played back in the day?
Oh, my word. Way back then, I mean, it was a different time. It was a different era. So a lot of the stuff that we did back then was, some what we would call choruses that we did at what was called the Metro Bible Study in Atlanta. So some of them would have been known, some of them would have been known throughout, all the churches in the South. Some of them would only have been known in Atlanta. But we used to do one. What is the flag flown high from the castle of my heart? From the castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart. What is the flag flown high from the castle of my heart? For the King is in residence there. So let it fly in the sky, let the whole world know. You know this?
I don't.
Let the whole world know. So let it fly in the sky, let the whole world know that the King is in residence there. Something like that. I mean, it's stuff that we don't do anymore, know, unless there's a bunch of old people like me there.
Yeah, I had never heard that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it, and therefore it's obvious that you completely made it up on the fly.
Right. Well, I think you mentioned the stuff that you would have known was like The Boys Are Back in Town. Isn't that one of your favorites from that era?
That's Thin Lizzy. The Boys Are Back in Town. You can break that one out on that Friday.
Okay,
night. So let's see. Guess who just got back today? Those wild-eyed boys that have been away. All right. Speaking of wild-eyed boys that have been away, maybe you could speak to this. There is a rumor, and there was a skit last year. There's a rumor that you participated integrally in the yearbook, the finial yearbook.
I have no memory of that. I have no recollection of that.
The blessing of.
Isn't that what I said the day that Dr. Shaver?
Yeah.
You know, I said something along those lines.
Now I remember when we were talking with you about. Yeah, I was just.
And you didn't even know what that
I
was.
didn't.
You
know
still don't know.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident. I was about to say the blessings of dementia.
You have no evidence, no proof.
Your conscience, your stained conscience, your seared conscience is all the proof.
I dealt with that a long time. It's been a long time since we were in school.
Yeah, you know, this is true. We were sitting there in Memorial Lobby, and I literally did not know I didn't know a single person who had participated.
You had your ideas who it would have been.
I don't think
But I was not on that page.
You were not on the list, but I don't think
because you tried to convince Dean Shaver that I had. I mean, you were laughing hysterically, rolling on the floor. Oh no!
Well,
and then you noticed his business look.
Yeah, and he was always right.
And
so I knew even if he weren't right, there was a high level of probability. And I think what really triggered is when you consistently answered his questions with these lame responses. And one of them, he said, how did you guys get them on the roof? And you said, we airwolfed them or something like that.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had I had one of three options. Yeah. Totally deny it, or, you know, try to laugh my way through it. Ha ha ha! This is the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. Or just punch his lights out and run out of the dorm. And option 3 wasn't going to work because I did not have my diploma in hand. Right. So, you know, having ruled that out immediately, I decided, look, rather than deny it, because yes, that could come back to haunt me later, I would just try to make a big joke out of all of it. You know, like, you expect me? I mean, look. I was squeaky clean. You had no idea.
I didn't know.
I was squeaky clean. Nobody on that campus. I remember walking around with friends and them speculating on all the people who would have done it, and I would go, really? Yeah, I think that's a good call. We might should investigate that one. And they had zero idea that I was involved. But at any rate,
I didn't. My brain, the way my brain works, I don't put any candidates in. Like, for me, nobody was involved. I know they were taken and all that stuff was done, and however many people would have been involved, but I wouldn't have put anyone on a suspect list. And but it's irrelevant to me who did it. Obviously, we know all the players now. In fact, Shane, in his yearbook, he has everybody signed his yearbook who was among the folks.
Yeah, so. I have that same page. Mm-hmm. In my yearbook, so I believe it was his roommate that actually did the writing in it.
Oh, okay.
Was it Marco Farrell?
Marco Farrell. They were in West 111.
I was in their room for a brief period of time till Shane and Mark kicked me out. It was more Shane than Mark. Every day I got the Shane treatment. Hey, I think we're going to move you out of here today, so, you know, don't get too comfortable. Don't unpack your bags or anything.
Oh, you were in a 3-man room initially.
Right.
Okay, I follow now. I misunderstood. Then you went over to Mike's room. So, with that said...
Well, but before that, I went down the hall, and me and Frank Tozer were roommates for
all right, I'm on it.
A quarter.
Yeah. Well... I did not realize that you started out with Mark and Shane, your initial year. My initial year, I was in 111 for the whole year. My roommates were Peter Rosenberger, and he is potentially going to come and play.
You're the RW that was scribbled in the
asbestos
cabinet. Yeah, RW was here.
No, I wouldn't have done that. But we all probably did the asbestos in the ceiling. So I was in West 111 with Peter Rosenberger. He and Gracie are going to try to be there on Saturday to play in the chapel, and with Rick Byers, and they were both great. They were both wonderful roommates. I had great roommates all the way through. So some of the songs you'll do, and we'll be able to sing with you on that Friday night. this doesn't have to be one. Whatever you're going to put as your catalog, just make it go. But we were together, obviously, in the worship service this past week.
Yeah.
You did Holiness. That'd be a good one to do. That's not the right title for it, but I never remember.
Yeah, it's
A time, something or other.
Holiness is what I long for. Holiness is what I need. Holiness is what you want from me. Take my heart and hold it. Take my mind, transform it. Take my will, conform it to yours, oh Lord. Something like that.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
It's a good song.
Oh, yeah. With Gary and with Amy, as with Peter, so too it's true with you. God has really used your music ministry in such an amazingly brilliant and effective way.
You know, all the
decades,
years,
yeah.
Ronnie, I've really just been the guy that has done what was needed at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I came to Columbia, I thought I was going to be doing music ministry. I thought I was going to be doing music evangelism. And then in my junior year, I completely lost my voice. During that time, I'd gotten started doing student ministry.
Yeah. You know, there were so many through that era who were good, and you were so gifted. There were others like Bo Thompson. I don't think you didn't overlap him because he preceded you. See, I overlapped all you guys because I was there for undergrad, grad, and then teaching and coaching at Ben Lippen. So I was there for a decade in all. But we had Bo Thompson. We had a guy named Brad Chase who was in Connecticut, tremendously gifted also. You know, there were females like Gwen Falk. She was unbelievable, and you could just keep on going. But so many people provided such wonderful music and ministry through music in the array of chapels across that whole spectrum, and you definitely were one among them. And then going out and doing what you've done in the churches, and obviously you and I have done a lot through the years together as well. I think I've done stuff like where you've asked me to come in and do stuff all the way back to Shelby, North Carolina, then at North Metro where Frank is, I think still, at Johnson's Ferry where Bryant was but now retired, at Morningside. The only one
Where I pastored, right?
Yeah, and then the only one I didn't go to, but I helped you guys with like your corporate identity web, blah, 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 was Catoosa. I never made my way to do anything there, but otherwise.
Yeah, we were there almost 8 years. So
Yeah.
that one was a total church start. Yeah. We
Yeah.
started with 10 people.
Yeah, but I've gotten to see your student ministry days, then when you did the associate pastor at Johnson Ferry, when you were pastoring at Morningside and now at Edisto, and whatever kind of role God has had for you, you've always excelled. And music has always been pivotal.
Yeah, it's funny,
in ministry.
when I was at Morningside, I was there right at 10 years, just a few months short of 10 years. And we had all of that music staff. I mean, we had the music suite and the music minister and the associates and the full-time people, blah, 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 blah. But for those 10 years, I rarely put my hands on the guitar. I didn't need to. That was the one stretch. And I mentioned earlier, I've always been the guy that's just done what is necessary. And it was totally unnecessary. So I rarely used it.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing was when we went from there to plant another church, immediately right out of the gate, we had a full band. So, in fact, I almost sold this very guitar because the guy that was our worship leader at that point just fell in love with it. I mean, I brought it during the first couple of times that we met because I thought I was going to be playing. And voila, we had a whole band right out of the gate. But having landed here at Edisto, it immediately came to bear that I needed to pick it up and jump in some places. We have a volunteer worship leader, as you know, And she does a great job. She does a wonderful job, and I'm really just there to support her. But over the course of the last couple of years, I've had a chance to pick it up again. So,
yeah, very good. All right, I think we'll end it there. And to say, please do everything you can to make your schedule such that you can join us on August 4th, that Friday, and that's the night you'll be playing songs with us. And August 5th as well. So the 4th will be at Hope Church. I'll put details in writing and I'll do it ASAP. And August 5th would be then at the chapel. So we'll end and we'll do the other video we need to do.
All right, so how many minutes of this thing are you going to push to everybody? I really just fumbled on all of that music.
No, it was perfect.
I muddled through it, Lonnie. It was terrible.